Good morning to you, and welcome to Align Your Day, Align Your Destiny. I am your host, Pastor A, and this is our second episode where we're talking about launching your business God's way, so that you can have stability in your business, right? And so if you want to go back to our first episode, go back so that today's episode will make sense, all right? And so today we're going to talk about faith marketing, like marketing from a faithful perspective, serving over selling. I told you guys before that I have sold just about everything. You name it, I have sold it, right? And so I think it's really important for us now to have a conversation about serving over selling. What does that look like and what does that mean? There was a time that even when I was selling the things that I was selling, everybody was a name and a number, name and a number, name and a number. And that was the name of the game, name and a number. Because I had two goals, right? You were either going to be my customer or you were going to be my business partner. All right. And so I was selling the idea of the product. I was selling the idea of the business. And while when you are an entrepreneur, there is an aspect of selling, there is a larger aspect of serving, right? And when you're missing the servanthood, then oftentimes the business is short lived because you are not serving the people, you are selling the people. And people can feel that. People can feel when you just want to sell them your product and move on to the next, or sell them on the service that you provide and move on to the next. And so we don't want to make those mistakes, right? We want to look at marketing from a ministerial perspective. Marketing is like ministry, shining your light to draw people instead of pushing them away. Okay. And you guys know I try to, I not I try. I do my due diligence with making sure that we can find biblical scripture to substantiate a lot of the we do find biblical scripture to substantiate what we're talking about, right? And so Matthew 5:16 says, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Know that your business is an assignment from the Father, right? So if God is not in it, it is not going to sustain itself forever. You understand? We want to make sure that we do things the Bible way so that we can get Bible results. Okay. And so we're going to look at how we are going to transition, how we're going to move in our entrepreneurial ventures, right? So today, it is my goal to free you from that pressure of selling before you serve. Because when you are selling, there's pressure because you're looking at, I've got to move a certain amount of units. I've got to do a certain amount of stuff a week. I've got to do a certain amount of things a month. But when you are serving, there's more compassion. When you're serving, there is love. When you're serving, there's joy. When you're serving, there is kindness, right? When you're serving, you show up in your business the same way that you serve in your ministry, the same way that you serve others. From a ministerial perspective, right? Whether it's on the usher board, the deacon board, the hospitality team, whatever the case is, the same way that you serve in ministry, you want to bring that over into doing the same thing and serving in business. Okay. And so the only way, or one of the ways that we can do that, not the only way, but the way to do that is your mindset. You have to have a mindset shift, right? Understanding that marketing isn't manipulation, it is multiplication. What does that mean, Pastor A? Is that your language has to not manipulate people. Your language has to be authentic. Your language has to be truthful, right? Your language has to be straight to the point, right? You don't want to manipulate anybody into using your service, right? I can't stand it when people are like, I want to talk to you. about something. I want to share something with you and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to talk about? No, you gotta wait till Friday. It's Tuesday. You telling me that you want me to wait 72 hours for you to talk to me about something that you say is going to change my life? Absolutely not. At that point, I'm disinterested. I don't want to hear nothing else you have to say, right? Because then I'm going to get there on Friday and you're going to be up here talking to me about stuff that you could have told me on Tuesday. Now I'm really upset because I could have made my decision of yay or nay on Tuesday, but I'm not going to do all of that, right? Manipulation versus marketing is not manipulation. Marketing is multiplication. It is to add to people, right? You want to show them how you are going to add to their life, how you're going to make their life simpler, how you're going to make their life easier, right? How they can benefit. You want to add to their lives. You don't want to manipulate in tone or in verbiage when it comes to marketing your business, right? So here's an example. Jesus didn't market in a worldly sense. What did he do? Christ served, right? He told stories. He met the needs of the people. And as a result, what happened? The crowds were drawn to him, right? So instead of saying, how can I sell this? You want to ask, how can I solve this? There is a problem, and I've got this cup, right? How can I solve the problem of women that want a cup? Not how can I sell Pastor A on, what is this? Kate Spade. Not how can I sell her on this Kate Spade cup, right? But what problem, what am I solving? What am I adding to her life? Why this cup, right? Why that service? How can you add to them? How can I solve this versus how can I sell this? Right? When it says in Matthew 5:16, when it talks about your light is your marketing. Okay? Your light is your marketing. So I want you to write this question down so that you can ask yourself, right? As you are taking notes, what is one need my audience has that I can meet today? What is one need, right? That the people in my market, what is one need that the people in my niche market, what do they have and how can I meet that need today? That is an ongoing question, right? For anybody in business. Okay. My father told me many, many years ago, because I used to sell cars. I sold cars for 30 days, made great money in 30 days. Okay. If it had not been for the fact that I was nursing, I probably would have continued to sell cars and continue to make money. Right. But I was nursing and I chose motherhood, which I do not regret at all. But my daddy told me, he said, when you're selling your cars, right? Facts tell, stories sell. And so that means that I'm going to tell you the facts of the vehicle. I'm going to tell you the facts of the product, okay? But the story is where I really get buy-in. The story, the joy, the laughter, right? Why? Because people, when they purchase from you or when they use your service, it's because of the connection that they had with you and not necessarily the product itself. Because let's be real, people can get product anywhere. They can get a service anywhere. But the story is going to determine if they purchase from you or if they purchase from somebody else, right? So you want to share your own original story. You want to talk about how you started and why you started, right? And then you want to teach you want to come from the perspective of the 3 P's of storytelling. The 3 P's of storytelling, write this down: pain, process, and promise. Okay? Pain is the problem that you had. What was your problem? The process is how you helped or how you found a solution, right? So, what was the problem that you had and how did you solve it? By using this product. You understand? And then the promise is the possible transformation that your consumer is going to experience by utilizing your service and or your product. Our daughters are getting older. And at the time, I was working outside the house. And I would typically get home like around 2:45, 3 o'clock, where their school bus dropped them off at 2:30. And I needed a ring light camera. Now Krista had a cell phone, um, and they're they're 10, okay. Um, and Krista had a cell phone, and I still like I wanted to be able to see them when they got home, see what's going on around my house, and all those kinds of things. I needed this. I needed a ring light camera, right? My problem is that I needed a ring light camera. The process was the person created this ring light camera. And the promise was the possible transformation that I would use, that I would receive by using this ring light camera. Now, why did I choose this one? I chose this one because this one was the only one left in Walmart on the shelf. It came with an app, so I was able to see everything from my phone. It did all the things. It has all of the bells and whistles, and it wasn't ridiculously expensive. It was so simple. I was able to plug it up. I was like all of the things, right? It was those three P's, right? That person knew that there was going to be a mom like me or a parent like me that was going to need to have something like this, right? And so I went and I purchased it, right? That's how you want your product or the service that you're offering to be. The pain. What is the problem, right? The process. How are you going to solve it? How did you solve it? How did you fix it? And the promise, how are their lives going to be transformed, right? And so every day I was able to see, I would check on my house periodically. The girls would push the camera, mommy, we're home, da 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 da, right? They would lock all the doors, and I was able to talk to them on their cell phone. Just that simple, right? The three P's: pain, process, and promise. What is the problem? The process of fixing it, and the process and the promise, how is your consumer's life going to be transformed by them using that product or that service from you opposed to somebody else? Okay. The next thing is consistency builds trust. Showing up even when you don't see instant results plant seeds of harvest, right? Think about a farmer. The seed does not sprout overnight, but the farmer still waters daily. You still have to show up every day. Every day means every day. Every day means every day. I cannot tell you how much difficulty I had with technology this morning. I still have to show up. I still have to keep pushing, right? The volume I didn't have turned on. I was talking a whole 15 minutes and I was streaming live, just a yapping away. And it was good for a whole 15 minutes and it wasn't turned on. The second time, okay, now I'm going to record again. I'm going to stream live again. I put everything on do not disturb, and somehow a FaceTime comes through anyway and interrupts the recording. Now I'm on three times the charm. Now, now I'm on a third time. But I'm determined to follow through with the assignment that God gave me. Right? Consistency builds trust, showing up even when you don't see instant results. Right now, the YouTube channel has 37 subscribers. I believe it's going to go from 37. Next, we're going to see 370. Next, we're going to see 3,700. Next, we're going to see 37,000. Next, we're going to see 3.7 million. Then it's going to be 37 million. I believe it in my heart. Why? Because consistency builds trust. You've got to show up every day, right? Galatians 6:9 says, let us not become weary in well doing. You've got to continue. You've got to continue, right? Here's your practical tip: pick 2 to 3 main places to show up online and be faithfully visible. 2 to 3 places. That's 2 to 3 platforms that you are going to be diligent and faithful in your visibility. Because if people don't see you, then people don't know you. And if people don't know you, then people don't trust you. And if people don't trust you, they're not going to purchase from you. Right? And so even if no one likes you, even if no one likes, like pushes the like button on your content when you first get started, even if no one comments when you first get started, even if no one buys right away, guess what? Eyes are watching silently. They still looking and lurking, lurking and looking, right? Number 5, practical faith driven marketing. You want to serve before you sell. So post free tips, right? Post free resources, post engage in free encouragement, right? You want to just encourage people. If you are a business coach, you still give out tips, tools, and strategies that can make people's lives better. Whatever industry you are in, you want to give some people some free stuff. Let them try before they buy, right? You want to speak their language. Use the words that your audience uses to describe their struggles, their challenges. You want to speak the same language. Do not change the language and then think that those people are going to come looking for you. They're not. Right? You want to be relatable and not perfect. Perfection intimidates people. Why? Because that's not real. That's not real. Authenticity is what attracts people. You understand? I work with a lot of moms, a lot of homeschool moms. I work with a lot of women, entrepreneurs, uh, wives. I work with them. And what am I telling you? That means that I got to tell the truth. All the time, my house is not clean. All the time, my house is not neat. You understand? Why? Because sometimes I got toys on the floor. Okay? I told y'all the other day, not that, I told y'all yesterday, we're in the process of transitioning. Like, we got a whole lot going on inside of our house right now. That's why I have a background. Why? Because the house look a mess. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. I got a big old Barbie dream house sitting down here in the living room with the cars and the Barbie dolls and all the things. I got a lot going on in my life right now. A lot. I told y'all that. I said, thank God for the virtual background. How many other mothers can relate to that? I got laundry to do. You understand? How many other women can relate to that? You got to be relatable, not perfect, right? Some people will say, Pastor A, how come you don't come on and your face be made up and all? I can put my makeup on. I can do all of that. But I choose not to. You know why? Because I don't feel like it. When I want to, I will. And when I don't, I won't. That's just my truth. Right? How many other women feel that way? Sometimes you feel like putting on lipstick and sometimes you don't, baby. Sometimes you just feel like doing a bun, clean skin, and some lip gloss, and you out the door. You clean, you look good, and you smell good. Right? My eyebrows are not done, buddy. My skin is clean. My skin clean. Okay? My skin clean. Right? Relatable, not perfect. Not perfect. 4, invite, don't pressure. So you want to extend a warm invitation, not a guilt trip. Invite them warmly to what it is that you're offering or what you're showing, not a guilt trip. Guilt trip is still manipulation. We don't manipulate, right? Tip number 6, live engagement. You got to have a live engagement moment, right? You have to use your social media and go live on your social media. So when you're picking 2 to 3 platforms to be consistent on, at least one of them, baby, at least one day you have to be live on there. You got to talk about what it is that you are offering and why it is going to be beneficial to them. Okay, so we're getting ready to wrap up. I told you that we weren't going to be long today. we're we're going to wrap up. Here is your challenge for today. All right, I want you to post something today that solves a problem for your audience without selling anything. It could be a tip, it could be a prayer, it could be a story that inspires, anything. But I want you to post something that solves a problem. Okay, and today we talked about how faith 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 driven marketing is about showing up to serve. It's about telling your story and being consistent, right? The sale is the byproduct, not the focus. The focus is to serve. Selling is the byproduct, okay? And so tomorrow we're going to come right back here and we're going to be talking about building on the rock, not the trend, because fads fade, but foundation is what lasts forever. All right. So I love you. I pray that today you were able to get a few tips, tools, and strategies that are practical for you that you can add to your tool bag of marketing for your business. And I look forward to seeing how many more entrepreneurs are going to launch God's way by the end of this series, and how many more of you, because you're launching God's way, are going to have businesses that will last forever. I love you with the love of God, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Always remember that there's nothing in this world that two people cannot do, as long as one of them is God and the other one is you. Continue to be great, continue to be amazing, continue to be awesome, and continue to align your day so that you can align your destiny. I'm your host, Pastor A, and I look forward to seeing you right here on tomorrow. You have a God day.